Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on just DCTV, but mainly the Green Lantern show, but also just the DC universe as a whole. It's a bit of a hodgepodge. But yeah, as we know, the DC universe, as we know it, mainly in live action, just mainly, but just in general also, is borderline up for grabs when it comes to, I guess, just knowing what's going to come next. We don't really know what is being cancelled, what is going to be continuing, and just what the actual movie or film universe is going to look like, I guess, in 12 to 18 months' time or something like that. Is it getting a full-on reboot with no survivors from what came before? Or will it be a Hunger Games type situation and it's a fight for survival and only the strongest will make it through? I guess the strongest in that case being the characters and actors that James Gunn likes. We don't know. We don't know what's going on. However, we are supposed to hear some stuff from James Gunn over the next handful of weeks, in the early parts of 2023, in regards to the first few projects in his new DC universe. So that will, of course, be very interesting to find out. But one project that is still up in the air after what feels like 28,000 years or something, but in reality has only been, I think, about 3 years or so, is the HBO Max Green Lantern show, and that's the central topic of today's video. But yeah, do let me know your opinions on this in the comment section down below, because I think it might vary in regards to what you think about it and the potential future or just the fate of what's going on here. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down there in the comments. But over the past couple of days, CBR, which is Comic Book Resources, I think, but I think they might be like affiliated with another site as well. But anyway, they ran an article saying that they'd heard that the Green Lantern show on HBO Max had been scrapped, and that it was, due to James Gunn wanting to use Green Lantern and that character in his film stuff going forward. And, there's been various articles like that over the past few months with people just, throwing darts at a dartboard blindfolded. That's pretty much what they do. That's usually what you see here. Especially when it's not like something like Hollywood Reporter and stuff. Most of the time it's a blind guess just hoping it's right. And that was what happened here because, they sort of got exposed. But you know what? Deadline put together a pretty good article that pretty much summarizes it pretty well. So I thought we'd go over that, then break down exactly what's happening and also what has been said about this show and its fate and some of the issues. And I think apparently, I will say that apparently, the main issue it's been facing since it started development. So we'll be talking about that in this video, but let's go over this Deadline thing. So Deadline's article for this was James Gunn responds to claim HBO Max's Green Lantern series has been axed. James Gunn is clearing things up about the fate of HBO Max's Green Lantern series, which has been in development for years now. After publications said that the show had been scrapped and would no longer move forward, the new DC Studios co-head debunked the rumor and called it, and I quote, fake. And as you can see on screen, that's the tweet that he said, just simply fake. The Green Lantern series has been in development since 2019 with Arrow producer Greg Berlanti behind the project. In October of this year, it was reported that the focus of the show had shifted. Originally, the series would center on Guy Gardner and Alan Scott, with Finn Wittrock and Jeremy Irvine in the roles respectively. However, the refocus would be on John Stewart, one of DC's first black superheroes, one of the longest serving Green Lanterns. Green Lantern was confirmed to be in development back in 2019 along with Strange Adventures. Berlanti touted the DC properties would be creations for the streaming platform, unlike anything seen on television. An anthology series of cautionary tales set in a world where superpowers exist, and in what promises to be our biggest DC show ever made, we'll be going to space with the Green Lantern television series, but I can't reveal any more about that just yet, Berlanti said at the time. And when we look back at that, that's pretty much most of what was just said by Berlanti. Nothing really else has come out from him since that point. In August, it was revealed that Strange Adventures would not be moving forward at the streamer. Throughout 2022, HBO Max and DC have seen many changes as the Warner Brothers Discovery merger continues, and new co-heads of DC Studios, Gunn and Peter Safran, plan out a new era for the DC universe. So this is the big thing. The first thing with the James Gunn thing, just to address that, is that he did reply to it. He said fake. The thing that people are questioning about this is that when James Gunn said fake, he didn't say what was fake, because the article in question from Comic Book Resources actually talks about a couple of different things. It says that the Green Lantern HBO Max show has been scrapped, that James Gunn has planned to use the character, and also specifies the characters being used or James Gunn's plans for certain characters like certain Green Lanterns. But he just says fake, so he could be saying that all of it is fake, but then surely Green Lantern would be in James Gunn's plans at the same time as well. So he might be very smart with how he chooses his words in regards to that, because he's saying fake to one of them, but one of them might be real, or two of them might be real, one of them might be fake, two of them might be fake, one of them might be real, some sort of combination like that. People do that in the past, have done that in the past. So I'm just going to assume he's calling it all of it fake, which makes sense. But at the same time, he might be being pretty smart there by saying that some of that's fake, but some of that's real, but we don't know. But in regards to this Green Lantern HBO Max series, just as it is, what the hell is the hold up with this show? It's just there, standing still. It's been there standing still long before Zaslav made his way into Warner Brothers. So while he could be an issue now, it's been like that before he came. And then along with whatever James Gunn and Peter Safran are trying to do, it's still been in a stalemate and stagnant long before they came. So what was the issue before that is still a thing now that's causing all these delays and not much progression with this, and now a change in what the show was meant to be, because there was a lot of excitement that you're going to be dealing with not just one, not two, but like 6 Green Lanterns potentially over like an anthology sort of different decade type situation, but now it's being cut down to 1 Green Lantern. So what's the issue there? And the apparent reason behind this is production budget. Apparently that's the big issue. That's the thing that's going around. Now, this has not been confirmed because I don't think they're going to confirm this. It'd be a very weird thing if they did confirm this, because it's a bit of a worry for the series, I think, if they confirm this. But in regards to the production budget thing, this sort of makes sense when you look at the change in the show from changing to 1 Green Lantern and John Stewart with maybe potentially no cosmic aspects or minimal cosmic aspects in regards to him going to space, to Oa, everything like that, hanging out with the Guardians and potentially other members of the Green Lantern Corps, and making it almost maybe like a purely Earth-based show. That would solve some of those production budget issues that would have been there with the project as it was before, with multiple lanterns over various decades, and would have 100% involved cosmic aspects to a decent sized degree, let alone having to build sets and everything for different time periods. Like Alan Scott was going to be in the 40s, then I think Guy Gardner and whoever it was in the 80s, and you had stuff in the present day as well. So that would have just kept on. That would have made the show very expensive. It was meant to be like the most expensive thing that HBO has ever done, bigger than any of the Game of Thrones stuff and all that stuff. So it was meant to be massive. And when you think about it, that makes sense. But when you slim it down to just Jon Stewart, where it could almost like 90 to 95% just be on Earth, it definitely makes it a cheaper show to make. And apparently the scripts for the 8 episodes, I think it was, that were written were really solid for the show as well. So they had a solid basing there, but it was that money factor that was really, an issue for the show and getting it made. Because really, when you look at it now and it's just Jon Stewart and that's just a 1 Green Lantern show, it probably puts it on the budget of maybe like what some of those Disney Plus shows were. And even you could think it's like maybe even nothing that's much more expensive than something like Superman or Lois to make as well. So this is probably the best chance the show has to be made now, even though you're stripping it away and only making about 1 Green Lantern. Because they're not really going to be like a Green Lantern Corps thing like it was before. It's just about 1 Green Lantern. So due to that, the chances of it getting made and actually being a thing do go up. But what actually are the chances of the show coming out now? Well, I think it's still about 50-50. I still think it's a flip of the coin, just because of all the stuff going on at DC. If it was like a year ago, I would say it's probably like 75% chance of happening, if not almost like 90. But with all the changes, it's probably a 50-50. And it was still, like, if it was still like that, all those Green Lanterns over decades, I'd say it would be even lower. Like, they may as well just say it's cancelled or something like that. But because it's only focusing on one, and it wouldn't cost as much to make now, and it seems like a pretty feasible project now, I think it still ends up being a pretty even split whether it happens or doesn't happen. But we do know that Greg Berlanti, who's like behind this show, is in negotiations for his future and could potentially leave Warner Brothers, but they do want him to stay because he's one of the bigger names they have attached. Now, I think this show could potentially be the decider, as it was going to, and I guess could still be the biggest thing in regards to like an individual project that Berlanti has done so far. So if this gets wiped out and it's taken from under him, except we're not doing it anymore, after like 3 years of like working on it, that could be it for him. He might go, okay, well, whatever. I'm just going to go to Netflix. I'm going to go to Amazon, sign there, where I just know my stuff will get made and there's none of this like politics. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Now, obviously, I don't think James Gunn wants to do that, but of course, if it's going to like fiddle with what he's planning and he needs like as clean of a start and slate that he can potentially get, then it could just be a casualty there. It's going to be very interesting to see what James Gunn is like over the next couple of months with the Scooper stuff, because he is active on Twitter. So you're getting like this whole like James Gunn versus Scoopers thing, if you want to call it. He's not doing it every single day, but I think it's when someone tries to push a certain narrative that maybe makes James Gunn looks bad, that maybe he steps in. But I think he's got to probably maybe pick his battles. This one was probably one where it's fine with him stepping in, but at the same time, I've seen the same type of article multiple times from multiple different outlets over the past couple months, and he hasn't said anything. But maybe because I think it specifically named him as like the cause for it happening, so that's why he stepped in. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how he deals with Scoopers going over the next few months, let alone him in this role at DC. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome. You could drop a like on it, show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions about this. Do you believe the whole production budget thing being the main issue for them changing the show and it maybe still being an issue in regards to getting it made now? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, as well as just general thoughts on this Green Lantern stuff and whether you think it's going to happen or not. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.